This week, life imitated art tragically, as we saw. Just like in Top Gun Maverick, Val Kilmer passed away at the far too young age of 65. As we saw from the massive outpouring of love and remembrances of Val, so many people around the world grew up with Val Kilmer movies. We can all name the predictable titles: Tombstone, Top Gun, Heat, The Doors, Batman Forever. However, as Val said in Top Gun, the plaque for the alternates is down in the ladies' room. And today I review one of his alternates, the crime drama, The Salton Sea. It's a bizarro movie, but is it bizarro in a good way or a bad way? Well, stay with your wingman here and we'll find out today on Movies Merica Live.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to this latest episode of Movies Merica Live. As always, I'm your humble host, Van Ebert. Well, not too humble, okay, but humble nonetheless. And again, we did lose an icon, a cinematic icon, with the passing of Val Kilmer this week. And so I just felt compelled this week to not really review any new release this week. Plus, I didn't see any new releases this weekend at the box office that even warranted or merited my time. And so it was almost like fate intervened and Val Kilmer was taken away from us. And so I wanted to do a retro review of a Val Kilmer movie, but not of the usual suspects, not the Heat, not Tombstone, not Top Gun, not Batman Forever. Love those movies, but I just didn't want to be yet another one, yet another movie critic that reviews one of those well-tread movies. I wanted to do something a little bit off the beaten path today here. So, but real quick, just let me welcome my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. You guys know who you are out there in Movies Merica. And also, even if you're not a movie maniac or a freedom-fueled film fanatic, you can get the live chat. Yeah, that's one of the perks of me doing this show live, is that we can communicate with each other, okay? And the way we do that is through the live chat. So I got my man Beyond Formal here, one of my brothers, Beyond Formal, here in the live chat already. And he is he's geared up and ready to rock, and he's already in the live chat joining the show. So give Beyond Formal there in the live chat on Rumble some company. And then if you have to watch, on YouTube or the Tube of Views, then there's live chat there as well. But Rumble really is the way to go. That's the platform. I think all the cool kids in the lunchroom are using Rumble to check out the show. But YouTube's there if you need, okay? Because I know it's scary signing up for something new, like when you want to use Rumble. And, actually, you might not even have to sign up for Rumble to watch this show. You might just be able to go to, rumble.com and then just type in Movies Merica and then watch the show that way. I don't know if you actually have to, create a username and password and all that stuff, but don't quote me on that. But even if you do have to create a username and password, so easy, so simple. I mean, I can do it. Come on, that's how easy it is right there. All right. So, but so again, we're going to be talking about the Salton Sea, a lesser known Val Kilmer movie here. And I get it. I will recognize right off the top, right off the bat, The Salton Sea, the name of the movie, the title, not the most enticing movie title out there, right? It doesn't have a cool movie title like Heat, right? Heat's a cool movie title, right? Heat. You get heat from the cops, the heat on the street. The Salton Sea, there's too much of like people wondering like, wait, what's the Salton Sea? What does that have to do with anything? Now, if you live in California where the Salton Sea actually, because the Salton Sea is an actual location, right? Then you probably are going to wonder about that less. But if you live in Montpelier, Vermont, you don't know what the Salton Sea is, right? So first off, you have to figure out what is the Salton Sea. Second of all, what does the Salton Sea have to do with this movie? So not the best title for a movie, but just overlook that, and you'll be glad you did right here, because as I'm giving away right now with what I'm saying, I would recommend watching the Salton Sea. Okay, so as a movie reviewer, as a movie critic, I'm giving my full endorsement. Definitely watch the Salton Sea. And it's directed by DJ Caruso, who later on would do movies like Suburbia with what's his name? What's his face? Shia LaBeouf. He also did Taking Lives later on. Kind of a jacked up, kind of a psycho thriller with Angelina Jolie and Ethan Hawke. He did another movie called I Am Number 4 right after, like sometime down the road after the Salton Sea. All that to say is that, in my opinion, the Salton Sea was the highlight of his directing career, and then it just went right after that there. So, and of course, this movie stars Val Kilmer, and he plays dual roles in this. He plays Danny Parker and Tom Van Allen, and that'll mean something more to you when you watch the movie here. It also has Vincent D'Onofrio in this here, and this is well before he was in Daredevil. It was also, of course, after he was in Full Metal Jacket, and after he played what's his name? He played the cockroach guy from Men in Black. Okay, Vincent D'Onofrio. He's in there. He's in this movie as what I would call the main bad guy in this, by the name of Pooh Bear. Okay, and it's got a number of different characters in this, but so the plots. It's kind of hard to describe the plot, but I will try to cobble together some semblance of the plot here. But Val Kilmer, we're first introduced to him where he's in a precarious position towards the beginning of the movie. And then he kind of starts doing a journey backwards, to kind of show us how he got to the situation we find him in at the very beginning of the movie. And he first starts off with him being what he calls a tweaker, okay? Someone who just gets high on meth or gack or crank or whatever you want to call it, right? So, and he looks like a guy that is just down at the bottom barrel of life, okay? He's hit rock bottom, and he's in this drug-fueled life with violence, potentially breaking out at any time. He's hanging out with a bunch of druggy losers, and it looks like he's just something maybe happened in his life that drove him to this place of these drug binges and just looking like a worthless piece of crap in life. And then we see that he's a confidential informant for a couple of cops in LA, and there's that subplot where he's working for them. And then also he's trying to make a big drug deal with Pooh Bear, again, played by Vincent D'Onofrio. And he's trying to use his friend, what's his friend? Thomas the Finn, I think is his name, trying to get a drug deal set through him. So again, as you may surmise through my summary of the plot, it's a little hard to put it together. So it's one of those movies where it's better just to watch it. Just rent, buy, whatever, the Salton Sea and watch it. And when the end credits roll, you'll remember like, oh god, yeah, no wonder Van did such a piss poor job at at summarizing the plot of this movie. Okay, because anybody would do a piss poor job at trying to summarize this movie here. So it's just better to watch it. Just just get your eyes glued to the tube and watch this movie. And don't count on me to break down the plot there for you. So because as you're being able to tell right now, it's just a lost cause there. Don't do that. So I just watch the movie. Do yourself a favor, watch the Salton Sea. And again, I know, don't be intimidated by the fact that yes, it's not Heat, it's not Batman Forever, it's not Tombstone. Okay, those movies that you know are good, right? Believe me, the Salton Sea is good. Okay, and it's good in a different way right there. So, and before I continue on here, let me get a tug off of my brew here that I'm going to be going over in more detail later on in the brew review time. But that's a reminder to you to go ahead and take a tug off, take a drink off of whatever you're imbibing today, because this movie or this show here, Movies America Live, is all about kicking back. Okay, and to that I do this. Oh yeah, definitely needed that. And so let's get into more of the Salton Sea. And I love all of Kilmer's most well-known movies, just like everyone. Like I mentioned a couple of them already. Tombstone, you got Top Gun, you got Heat, The Doors, Batman Forever, etc., right? Shoot all of those movies into my veins. And believe me, I have shot them all into my veins quite a bit there, okay? And believe it or not, I mean, Bob Dylan, of all people, Bob Dylan, the legendary folk singer, Bob Dylan is one of those people, pardon me, that love Val Kilmer's big movies, particularly Tombstone right here. And, just to give you some proof and show you that I am not lying about that, here's some video proof as evidence.
But, like, for example, I'm not the only one that is obsessed with the Tombstone performance. The great Bob Dylan. Is this true? Bob Dylan also loves you in that role.
He said so, yeah.
Now, how did the conversation go down? Did he contact you?
Yeah.
Because he's such an enigmatic guy.
Yes, it was years ago. We had a mutual friend, and he said he wants to talk to you, so I called him, and we were both in New York, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just, I'm going to do this thing in a couple of days," and he said, "What are you doing right now?" I said, "I'm just hanging out. I got a new child," and he said, "You want to get together?" I said, "Sure," and he said, "Okay, I'll be right over," and hung up the phone, and I turned to my then wife. I said, I think Bob Dylan's coming over," and he did.
So doorbell rings. He comes in. What's he wearing?
He's had a really nice suit on,
Nice
Western suit, nice piping,
Okay.
as you'd want Bob Dylan to be dressed as.
And what did you guys chat about?
He wanted me to he liked talking about that Tombstone. He did. He wanted to. Eventually, he said, because I knew I think he wanted some quotes, and I said,
See, he did it too. He wanted you to.
Bob
Dylan wanted. It's
a fun role.
Yeah. So Bob Dylan was getting.
Eventually, he said, "Ain't you going to say anything from that movie?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. Sing some "Blown in the Wind," and I'll." It just came out. I thought. I don't know what came over me, but I thought withholding from Bob Dylan is...
Yeah, everyone does whatever he wants.
I couldn't help myself.
That was so great. Yeah, give me some Blowing in the Wind, and we'll see what we can come up with. Okay, Batman Forever. I read an interesting quote that you likened putting on the Batman suit in Batman Forever. You said...
I liked putting it on?
You likened it. You said that it was like...
I didn't like...
You didn't like it. You said it felt like an old person while wearing. I think we have a still here of you in the Batman suit.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. You said that it felt like being an old man.
That's right.
How?
Well, there's about 6 reasons. You need help getting dressed. Mm-hmm. It takes about 45 minutes to get undressed. This is true. You need help going to the bathroom. Uh-huh. You can't hear anymore. 'Cause it's plastic. Do this right now.
Right.
That's what it's like. Now pull it, like some of our friends in Malibu.
Why do I have to pull it? I'm Batman.
That's what happens. That's what happens.
I'm a depressed Batman.
Yeah.
I'm a Batman who needs
And then
therapy.
when you call out for help, no one comes. in between takes, you're like a mannequin, and you're in a kind of a lounge chair.
You can't move.
You're like, Daisy, can I have some water? No one comes. Everything has to be fed in this. You have to have a straw.
All right. So there is video evidence, video proof from the late, great Val Kilmer himself there that Bob Dylan is someone that is a fangirl, I'll put some spect on Bob Dylan. He's a fanboy of Tombstone right there. And I just love that story right there, because it just shows that, big time celebrities like Bob Dylan, are just like us, right? You go up there, you see celebrities, actors in movies that you love, who play characters that you love, and they're just like, celebrities are just like us. You just want to go up to that actor and go like, "Hey, all right, hey, will you say that thing, I feel the need for speed. Will you say that there for me, Tom Cruise?" All of that stuff right there. So it's just like that. And unfortunately, I don't know if you detected it. I could kind of tell a little bit that you could tell his voice was starting to go. Unfortunately, Val Kilmer, late in his life, he suffered some pretty bad effects from throat cancer there. And that interview I just showed you was in 2013, and he was diagnosed with throat cancer, and had to have the surgery to just take out his vocal cords. He had that done in 2014. So the year after that interview right there, that's when everything started really going downhill for Val Kilmer there. But so that was an interview in a time where, Val Kilmer was still functioning and sounding and looking, mostly like the Val Kilmer that we associated with. Obviously, that's 2013. He doesn't look like he did, as Iceman in 1986, or Chris Knight, in The Real Genius in 1985. I mean, he was going through what we all go through, right? Aging and that kind of thing. So going on. But I just wanted to show you that to prove I'm not lying about Bob Dylan here. But however, there's a whole other world of Val Kilmer that is just as intriguing that you can tap into with much lesser known movies like Felon, Spartan, Wonderland, Thunderheart, Top Secret, ! And the Salton Sea that we're talking about today. To me, going to see his lesser known movies, it's sort of like going out and you're at a big, established, well-manicured, renowned nightclub that everyone in town wants to be seen at, right? And then later on that night, you start bar hopping down the street and you hear a song you just love, piping out of the open door of a little hole in the wall bar down in a basement, and you walk in. Then over the course of the next couple hours at that little hole in the wall bar that's playing that music you love, you have less watered down drinks, better, deeper conversations with down-to-earth people, and the band plays just the right B-sides you remember loving from back in your youth, okay? It's not all out better than the big established nightclub, but it's just different in an equally entertaining way. And that's what Val Kilmer's lesser known movies are to me. And you never see Kilmer tatted up and punk rocked out like the poster boy from Hot Topic in his mainstream movies, but you do in the Salton Sea. Now, the most ominous bad guy in the Salton Sea, Pooh Bear, who I mentioned earlier, is more menacing than any bad guy in Val Kilmer's better-known movies, okay? He's definitely more menacing than, say, like Van Zant from Heat, right? Or Wayne Grow, okay, from Heat, or I don't know, the Riddler, or Two-Face from Batman Forever. Okay, so none of those characters have anything on Pooh Bear from the Salton Sea. And then the off-the-wall visuals and scenarios just keep your eyes glued to the screen. I mean, Batman Forever didn't have a JFK assassination reenactment with pigeons in it. Also, Kilmer's alternate characters in this, Danny Parker and Tom Van Allen, and their tragic link, it's captivating. It's just straight up captivating. The fact that you're shown Kilmer at such a high point in his life briefly in this, but subjected to seeing him now in a drug-fueled downward spiral with lightning flashes of violence intertwined in, makes watching the Salton Sea a moral imperative, to use part of a phrase from Val Kilmer that he used in Real Genius. So check it out. Check the Salton Sea out. You definitely need to check it out there. I can't say that enough right there. But real quick, while it's top of mind here, go ahead, and if you like what you're hearing so far, or like what you're seeing so far, the Val Kilmer interview on Conan or whatever else in this episode, well, hey, if you're compelled, hit that like button down there, okay? So go down there and just click that like button. It costs you this much in money right there, okay? It costs you $0. And then while you're down there clicking buttons, if you haven't already, click the old follow or subscribe button there on whatever platform you're watching this on, whether it's YouTube or Rumble, or maybe you're watching this later on X, and you're watching it on my account on X, my Movies Merica account on X. Well, since you're already there on my Movies Merica account on X, feel free to go ahead and hit the follow or subscribe button on that as well. And then I'm on like a bunch of platforms. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Rumble, of course, YouTube, Gab. I'm on there. And so feel free to follow me on any of those platforms too. And I'm on all those platforms under @MoviesMerica. I know, very complicated, all right? And then follow me there if you would, and then I will do you a solid, okay? If you let me know through DMing me on X that you followed me on any platform, well, then let me know. And then obviously just tell me who you are, right? And then and tell me what platforms you followed me on, and I will follow you on those same platforms there. That's a promise to you, everybody, okay? And then also there's the notification bell down there as well, so that when you click on that, it'll give you a nice little bell. All right, a soothing, cathartic bell. It goes ding, 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 whenever there's a hot, piping, fresh new episode of Movies Merica waiting just for your consumption, okay? And then also to my viewers that didn't have a chance to watch this episode live, well, first off, how you doing? Thanks a lot for watching, okay? And also, even though you don't get the live chat with me and I with you, we can still communicate with each other. You just have to do it via the comments section down below, okay? And yeah, you can let me know things, I don't know, just to throw a few things out there, like, hey, how do you think I'm doing on the show? Am I sucking at this? Am I good at it? Am I kind of somewhere in the middle? Is there a movie you want me to review? Let me know in the comments. Simply, hey, what's your favorite Val Kilmer movie? Very easy. Something like that down in the comments. So I really, I definitely want to hear from you. And that's not just lip service, because I know a lot of hosts to shows who are just like, I really want to hear from you. And you could tell, like right through them. You could like look right through them, and you could tell like they don't want to hear from you. I do, okay? Because I find it intriguing when I'm looking through all my past episodes and looking to see if there's any comments on there. And I'm like, oh, hey, there's a comment right there. And, oh, that's right. Hey, that's a great movie. I should review that. Someone puts like a movie that you want me to review on there. I'm always like, oh, that's right. I forgot that. I forgot Brad Pitt did that movie. I'm going to review that movie. Yeah, okay. It's a slow week at the box office. I'll go and I'll review that. I'll review Babel, with Brad Pitt or something like that. So yeah, I go through the comments, okay, and I am intrigued by checking out the comments there. So go ahead and do that there. Also, back on the topic of following me on Rumble, I am almost to 200 followers let me say subscribers. Followers makes me sound like David Koresh. Okay. I don't live in a compound full of weapons, and I'm about to burn it down. I'm not doing that. Okay. So yes, subscribe to me on Rumble, because I'm at 195 subscribers on Rumble, and I'd love to get to 200 here very, very soon. If not, like during the show, that'd be fantastic. Okay. So one thing you can do that costs you absolutely nothing is just take the link to this show and just like text it or instant message to people. And just say, hey, just click on this link right here. It's just for a harmless movie review show, and hit the old subscribe or follow button on it. And hey, I'll buy you the first beer when we go out, next, tomorrow night or something like that. So very easy. So I guess it isn't free. You got to buy your buddy a beer, I guess. But do that, very easy. All right. So and yeah, let's get this guy up to 200 subscribers right there. And I like to do that too. Like when I'm watching the other shows, and the host is like, hey, Van and everybody else, I'm almost up to, 300 subscribers. Help me out there, brother. And I like to go in there and follow them if I'm not already following them, or take their link and spread it far and wide, to all my buddies and that kind of thing, so that they can get up to that magical next level of subscribers and all that good stuff right there. And I got Beyond Formal here in the live chat again. Hello there, good sir, in the live chats. And hopefully you're enjoying the Salton Sea talk right there. But all right, well, speaking of the Salton Sea, let's talk more about this. But real quick here, let me get a drink here, because I'm not beer burping enough, and I need to get the beer burps going. So all right, thank you for bearing with me there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And Val Kilmer does a masterful job at achieving the impossible in his Salton Sea performance, making you feel empathy for a character who's a rat for the cops in part. Okay, it's not his entire character, in among other parts of his character. Okay, he was just a normal guy married to a loving wife. Excuse me. And then the ordeal that makes Kilmer's character the one you see for the vast majority of the movie is spawned. Is this character as he seems, or is he moving chess pieces around as part of some master plan? I mean, is he a worthless waste to society tweaker, or is he Kaiser Soze? Okay, either way, you're locked in to see where the Pied Piper leads you. What also helps with that are the whacked out supporting characters in this movie. The winner by a nose, or a lack of one, because, pardon me, Pooh Bear, the character of Pooh Bear, he doesn't have a nose anymore because he did so much gack, he did so much meth that they had to cut his nose off. So he basically just wears this fake plastic nose here. So again, the winner by a nose or a lack of one is, of course, again, the aforementioned Pooh Bear, the murderously psychotic drug dealer who may or may not mix the brains of people he's killed into his scrambled eggs for breakfast. Okay, you'll have to watch the movie to find out whether he does that or not. Okay, and then there's Peter Sarsgaard playing Danny's best tweaker friend. And Peter Sarsgaard, you may not know him by name, but you probably know him by appearance. I just watched a great movie called September 5th with Peter Sarsgaard in it. He was also the main bad guy in the movie Flight Plan with Jodie Foster. And also he was the main bad guy in, what is that? Night and Day, that Tom Cruise, Cameron Diaz movie. He's the main bad guy, or one of the main, I guess he's one of the bad guys in Night and Day there. So, and Peter Sarsgaard, he plays this drug-addled simpleton who has connections for Danny to use, and he clearly idolizes Danny. I mean, he even gets a tattoo of Danny's face on his arm at one point in the movie. And that leads to the whole group of Danny's tweaker friends, led by Adam Goldberg, who you would have seen on Dazed and Confused and Saving Private Ryan. He's the guy in Tom Hanks's Crew that gets stabbed in the heart, that kind of heartbreaking scene towards the end of Saving Private Ryan where he's slowly getting the knife like stabbed into his chest there. That's Adam Goldberg there. And he's a character who attempts to simulate Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible if Ethan Hunt was always high on meth, okay? And that'll make more sense if you see the movie. And the group that he leads, they're the losers that Danny goes on like these 3 or 4 day drug binges with. And then you also get Deborah Kara Unger as a battered woman from across the hall from Danny, who Danny tries to help, and then she becomes a part of his fate, as does her abusive boyfriend, Quincy, played by Luiz Guzman. We even get a Val Kilmer, Danny Trejo Heat reunion, because remember, they were part of the same crew on Heat there. So we get a reunion between those two, since Trejo plays a scumbag named Little Bill, and then he has a counterpart, of course, named Big Bill, and he's played by Buck Cherry lead singer Josh Todd. And then there's the 2 cops that Danny rats to there. And those 2 cops, their characters' names are Gus Morgan, played by Doug Hutchison, probably best known as Percy from The Green Mile. And then you have Al Garcetti, and he's played by Anthony LaPaglia, who he had a short, bright career in the 90s and then didn't really do much after that. So between all these characters and the storyline that teaches you to expect the unexpected with this movie, I think you'll be watching this movie more than once, okay? And another thing you might watch more than once is this video that I'm about to play you. And this is just a Val Kilmer tribute video I made that I just felt compelled to make upon news of Val Kilmer's death. I mean, how do I put this right here? The best way for me to say it is, like, Val Kilmer was just a continual intrinsic actor in all of my movie watching, back from when I was a teenager, we're talking 13 years old, all the way up to present day. And here's just some video evidence of that. All right. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And I enjoyed making it. It was just fascinating making that and finding all the scenes. And I stayed up way too late, the night that he died making it. But it was a labor of love. And but yeah, if you want to check it out, you don't want to have to like watch this episode to check it out. I've got that video out on my @MoviesMerica X profile and on my Facebook profile as well. That's under @MoviesMerica on Facebook there. So yeah, check that out there. But yeah, hopefully that really drives home just how eclectic and how intrinsic he was in the big old entity that we know as movies and Hollywood and all of that right there. He was a major player there in that whole world. So, but all right, let's do this here real quick just to mix it up here. One of my favorite segments of every Movies America live show, and that, of course, is the Brew Review Time. All right, so just to warn you guys, give you a heads up right here. Anybody that's expecting maybe this, earth-shattering, life-affirming, life-changing brew review time, just chock full of all kinds of information nuggets. Yeah, you will not be getting that today. You will be getting a brew review. It's just, not going to be like this comprehensive brew review where you're going to have to, bust out the spreadsheets because there's going to be just so much information. I'm just, tossing your way like, nope. Because I'm all about total honesty with all of everybody. Everybody that is kind enough to watch this show live or later on. Okay, and in all honesty, I just ran out of time to do any kind of serious research on this brew that I'm going to review today. And that brew that I'm going to review today is Golden Road Mango Cart. And I know absolutely nothing about this beer. Nothing at all. Zero, nada, bupkis, zilch, okay? But I can tell you this. It tastes good. It tastes good. I mean, I guess isn't that what brew reviews boil down to? It's like, hey, yeah, that's great, Van. You're telling me about the international bitterness units number and the alcohol by volume and what hops it's brewed with. But when it boils down to it, Van, just tell me, does it taste good? And I could tell you, this tastes good. Okay. And I'm not getting any money from this brewery or anything like that. Okay. So it's completely objective. This is a completely objective review. If this thing tasted like the ass end of a rhinoceros, I would tell you. If it tastes like piss water, like, Bud Light, that tranny fluid or anything like that, like the mass-produced piss water that we see, like Coors Light and stuff like that, I would tell you. Okay. But this is some down home, righteously good stuff right here. And Golden Road Mango Cart there. It's not too mango-y, okay? It doesn't go too hard on the citrus there. It doesn't overdo it. But so again, when it comes down to it, I can tell you it tastes good. That's my review. All right. And just to prove to you that I do think it tastes good, I'm going to take a drink off this bad boy here. So. All right. Check that out right there. You're probably not going to be able to get it like at your local grocery store or, drive your jalopy down to, the local Gas and Gulp, okay, and find this beer there. You're probably going to have to go someplace like Uber Eats. They deliver booze now, or GoPuff.com or Open Bar. Open Bar is an app on your phone. You might be able to get it through there. So unless you live like in some big metropolitan area that you can get all kinds of booze at. Like I live in a big metropolitan area for now with a Total Wine and More, which is pretty much the Walmart of booze. Okay. And I can get all kinds of beer and stuff like that. So, but if you don't live in an area like that, Open Bar, GoPuff.com, Uber Eats, that might serve your boozy needs right there, okay? But hey, all right, it's time to wrap up this brew review time. So here we go. All right, so let me do this here because this is just as good a time as any to do this here, and that is my chance to let you know all about our merch that you can get. Yes, good old merch right there. So, a way to show that, hey, you appreciate the show enough to brag about it in public there, particularly like with the Movies America t-shirt, okay, and spread the good Movies America gospel to the world, from hither and yon, okay? So you can definitely do that. But we don't just have Movies America t-shirts, okay? We got Movies America shot glasses, pint glasses, you got phone cases, yoga pants, all kinds of great stuff with Movies America emblazoned across it right there. Also, I think those yoga pants has my mug like basically smacked right on the ass cheeks right there. So if that doesn't entice you to buy some yoga pants right there, I don't know what'll entice you right there to buy those. But and we're making it very simple for you to get some merch because all you gotta do is click on the merch link down in the description. So very easy. And then when you go in there and you select all the stuff you want to buy and you get it in the old shopping cart, well, make sure to put promo code MOVIES. Okay, I know the overlay says whiskey. That is incorrect. Okay, put in promo code MOVIES and you are going to get free shipping on all that sweet, sweet Movies America merch that you're going to get sent to you. And then maybe some of that merch you're going to give it as gifts, okay? Because we got Easter, I think, is the next big holiday right there. And nothing says that you honor and you appreciate the sacrifice, the crucifixion of our dear, sweet Lord Jesus Christ on the cross there more than a Movies America t-shirt. Okay, there you go. So celebrate the resurrection with some good Movies America merch right there. Check that out if you would, everybody. All right. Now let's check out the live chat right there. And hey, look at that right there. We've got Aaron Guzman here in the live chat. Hey, I'm glad you could join the show right there and class up this show that was going off the rails way too hard there, but I'm glad you're here to set this show straight here. And hey, right back at you, Aaron. She is one of my fantastic friends there, and I'm glad that you joined the show here, and hopefully you're enjoying what you're hearing there. So here about what is essentially a Val Kilmer tribute episode of Movies America Live. That is what we are doing here today. And to that end, with Val Kilmer and the Salton Sea, I've got some random thoughts about the Salton Sea. And my first random thought is this was originally going to be more of a TV series or something lesser. However, production company Castle Rock Entertainment, that same production company that brought you movies like A Few Good Men and Misery and a number of different other movies, right? The Castle Rock, the Shawshank Redemption, and I think they also did The Green Mile. Castle Rock, right? When Harry Met Sally, Castle Rock Entertainment, they liked the Salton Sea script so much that they wanted to turn it into a movie. And some names from the movies like The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile got on board too, because again, like I said, I think Castle Rock produced those two movies as well. So you have the director of The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile, Frank Darabont. He's a producer on the Salton Sea. And then the guy who did the unforgettable soundtrack for both those movies, Thomas Newman, did the soundtrack for the Salton Sea. And you may know Thomas Newman more recently for doing the soundtrack to like Skyfall and Spectre. And he did one of his great soundtracks that it's kind of hard to find the soundtrack for is Phenomenon. Remember the movie Phenomenon with John Travolta? Thomas Newman did a fantastic soundtrack for the movie Phenomenon, and Thomas Newman does the soundtrack for the Salton Sea. And it's not bad. It's not bad. And then another random thought I had about the Salton Sea is it does have a pretty good track list of songs. You got Funk 49 by Joe Walsh. You got Let Forever Be by the Chemical Brothers. Loving You, the classic Loving You is easy because you're beautiful. That song. I know, I'll never do it again. Loving You by Minnie Riperton. That gets used in a very, very weird scene where they're trying to do a drug deal. Of course, got Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed. That's in a scene where a karaoke singer is singing it. Silver Threads and Golden Needles, that classic by Linda Ronstadt. That gets blasted, by a cowboy in his big Bubba pickup truck at some point in the movie. And then there's a musical time capsule track from the early 2000s, Morning by Tantric. Okay, Tantric, that Figment, that fixture of the early 2000s. Tantric is played over the end credits. Okay, so probably not gonna hear a Tantric song over the end credits of some movie made in 2025 anytime soon here. So, and then there's many other songs used, and all in all, music is used very effectively in the Salton Sea. So just another reason to check out this movie. Pardon me, yet another beer burp right there. So apparently I can't handle my suds over here. And then my last random thought about this movie is I just have to give a shout out to this movie's hilariously jacked up history of meth that it spends about 3 minutes on towards the beginning of the movie. And it's just very entertaining. And you might learn something new, okay? If you're just a complete noob to the world of drugs and you don't know anything about meth, then yeah, you're going to get a nice little 3 minute or so tutorial on the history of meth here. And on top of that, it does make me wonder, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting over this cold thing where I've got this congestion that just won't go away. But anyway, I know it's fascinating. But this meth tutorial that you get from Val Kilmer towards the beginning of the Salton Sea, it made me wonder if Vince Gilligan, the creator of Breaking Bad, watched it and at least in part, maybe it, just kind of partly inspired him to make Breaking Bad. I don't know, because I kind of get that Breaking Bad vibe, that kind of subversive kind of Breaking Bad vibe whenever I see that tutorial about meth in the Salton Sea right there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we learn down the road at some point, or maybe Vince Gilligan's already said it, that, yeah, I mean, I was really struggling to find a TV series that I wanted to write. And then I watched this movie called The Salton Sea, and I saw this meth tutorial, and that's how I came up with Walter White and Breaking Bad. Okay, so you never know. You never know. That might be a pipe dream from me. I don't know. It's, to dream the impossible dream. That's all I have to say right there. So a man can dream, can't he? Come on. All right, so let me try to recover here now by letting you know about a great sponsor that I have for the show. And that sponsor is One Flip City Magazine, okay? Now, you may be asking yourself, if you're an inquiring mind, hey, Van, what is Flip City Magazine? Well, I shall tell you, okay? So Flip City Magazine is a magazine that's going to make you giggle, okay? Whether you're reading it on a porch swing, or you're on the toilets, or you're in the back seat of a car, you are going to be giggling from reading Flip City Magazine, okay? So it just a picture it in your mind. Picture back in the day, you're reading like Mad Magazine and Cracked Magazine. It's like that, okay? But funnier, and it doesn't worry about being woke, okay? Because unfortunately, Mad Magazine and Cracked Magazine, they've allowed themselves to be assimilated into the woke Borg, okay? So let's be honest, most of the writers at most humor magazines, as you would predict, they're very liberal, okay? And that's their business and whatnot. But, with the election of a certain guy whose last name rhymes with Bump, their brains all got broke, okay, by him. And so they went from the making you laugh business to the we're going to teach you how to live a good woke lifestyle, young man, business when it came to Mad Magazine and Cracked. But not Flip City. No, Flip City has one priority and one priority only, and that is to crack you up, okay? But if you don't believe me, hey, listen to these guys.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
Genuinely cutting, but also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
Yo, all right. So right now you should be just chomping at the bit. You should be salivating at the opportunity to get yourself some Flip City magazine. And we are making it very easy for you to do exactly that, because all you got to do is down in the description, just got to click on that Flip City link down there. And that'll give you the opportunity to subscribe to Flip City if you're not already subscribed right now, or if you're already subscribed and you're one of those people that aren't selfish like me. I'm very selfish. I would never give a gift to anybody else. I just buy stuff for me because I'm a selfish asshole. Okay, but you're probably not like that. So you give gifts to people that you care about, and so hey, nothing says "I love you, Grandma" like a Flip City magazine subscription right there, okay? And so we're making it easy for you to take care of Grandma. So, no, not take care of Grandma. I mean, like, give her a gift, okay? So I don't know where your head's going. But, yeah, give her a Flip City magazine subscription and do that via the link in the description. And then put in the promo code MOVIES, and you're going to get 10% off your subscription of the best non-woke magazine around right there. So check that out. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Okay. And just to prove to you that I'm not asking you to do anything that I haven't done already. Look at that right there. Flip City magazine in your face. Yes. And check that out. Look at that. It's all gleamy and shiny and all that. Look at that right there. Got great artwork in there on the back and inside as well. And all kinds of good stuff. Got some comics, and we've got I don't know what that is, but it sure is colorful. There you go. And we got some great more comics, and got articles as well. It's not just comics, articles, all of that in Flip City right there. So to make your your trip to the toilet a more magical situation than it already is. Grab yourself some Flip City there, and just read it on the old porcelain throne right there. So definitely get that right there. I'm sorry about that. Woo! The beer burps are coming fast and furious. Right there. All right. So and check the old live chat right there. And yeah, we got my fantastic friend Adam in here saying hola. I love that right there. And Lindy Rig 87. Hey, I may be late, but I made it right there. Absolutely. So you're good to go. And I just put there, hey, it's all good. You're just the cool late guy who brings the good beer. All right. So yeah, so you're like, and like the early guy. The early guy brings, the Bud Light tranny fluid. You're like, oh God, Bud Light again, And then Lindy Rig shows up and he brings the good beer right there. And then Adam goes on to say right there, and he does make a good point. Yes, there is a great tantric song, Morning, on the soundtrack, and they play that over the end credits there. Yes, you're absolutely right there, Adam. And again, appreciate you joining the show, you and Aaron. It touches me. It touches my heart that you guys are here. But yeah, the beginning, like the guitar, at the beginning of that song, Morning, it just fits perfectly with the last words from Val Kilmer in the movie, where he's talking about like, and who's this guy? I like his chances. I really like his chances. And he's standing there at the edge of the Salton Sea, and he throws his trumpet out in the Salton Sea right there, and it's a perfect transition into the end credits right there with that tantric song right there. And I mentioned like in my random thoughts about this movie right there, there's a number of other great tunes in the movie there. So we've got you got the Chemical Brothers in there. You got Lou Reed. You got Joe Walsh on the soundtrack as well. And yeah, you're right. Yeah, 3/4 of Days of the New band there. So yeah, exactly. Remember Days of the New from back in the 90s there. So yes, Shelf in the room. So that's what you do when you don't know the lyrics. Shelf in the Room. I love that song right there. So yes, Days of the New. That takes me back there. So because yeah, well, who was it, Adam? What the lead singer of Days of the New, was it like Travis something? And he basically he Days of the New continued on with just with this lead singer Travis or something like that. And then yeah, then the 3/4 of the band quits, and then I think they created Tantric, I think is how that went down there. But don't quote me on that there. All right, so and just to remind you guys, hey, this Thursday night, as usual, I'm going to have my Movies America spoiler warning show. And of course, we'll be going over the Salton Sea. And I will be going over that in spoilery fashion, okay? Because today I'm trying not to throw spoilers out there, even for a movie that came out, 25 years ago. It came out in 2002. And, feel free to check my math. But it's been out for a while, okay? But, I'm trying not to spoil it today because that's what Movies America Live is all about. This is a spoiler-free show. But on Thursday nights on the Movies America Spoiler Warning Show, as the title implies, I am not going to give a flip whether or not I drop spoilers or not. Now, I don't bend over backwards. I don't twist myself into a pretzel to give spoilers on that show. But I ain't exactly going to, hop on eggshells to avoid spoilers on Thursday night. But again, that show comes on at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central, 5 Mountain, and 4 Pacific on Thursday night right there. And you can check that out on Rumble and YouTube Live. And then if you want to watch the recording of it, then it's on X after that as well. But yeah, go ahead and send the link to the spoiler warning show on Thursday. Go ahead and send that to anybody that you even remotely suspects is into movies or Val Kilmer or anything like that. So, or who has seen the Salton Sea? Like apparently my good buddy Adam has seen the Salton Sea here. And so I think, Adam, you're going to really enjoy Thursday night show because we're going to do an even more deeper dive. We're going to do an autopsy on the Salton Sea and really get into it. So, and Travis Weeks. Exactly. So I knew I had that first name right there. I almost said Maynard James Keenan, but no, that's not that. So that's Tool is that guy right there. And hey, we got Professor Savage Dad, PSD himself said, I feel spoiled. Well, you should. You're royalty, Professor Savage Dad. I mean, you are a professor, by the way, right there. So there you go. And welcome to the show there, PSD. I love it. Hopefully you're in for hopefully you're in for, is it Travis Meeks? Travis Meeks. Okay, there we go. See, we're getting live. We're getting live corrections here on the show right now. But as I always do with the Movies America Live show on Sundays, I always like to let you guys know, is the movie that I'm reviewing on this episode, is it a woke after school special? Okay. Do you guys remember after school specials, right? Like back in the 70s and 80s, you had after school specials that would come on after school, right? Hence the name. And it'd be like some corny, cheesy, like half-hour show about like, if someone offers you a cigarette, say no, or don't ever get into a car with a drunk driver. Like good lessons, to learn as a kid, but they teach them in very cheesy ways. They're very cheesy, very corny. And unfortunately, as we've seen, like in the last 10, 15 years, we've seen a lot of movies that could have been great, but instead they made woke after school specials instead of movies. Okay. And so we're in that area where if you're a movie critic like me, you have a show, you have to incorporate, we don't have to, but I choose to. You have to let everybody know, if you really care about, your watchers, your viewers, and you have to let them know, hey, is this a woke after school special? Is it not a movie? Is it a woke after school special? Because who wants to spend their hard-earned $15 or so on a movie just to get preached at, right? And preached at with the not so great gospel of woke. Who wants that, right? So I just like to give everybody a heads up on that. And I can say happily that no, the Salton Sea not at all is not a woke after school special. I mean, I can't figure out how you'd even fit woke into this movie. Plus, this movie came out well before the disease of woke went so airborne in Hollywood that it infected even the movies. The product they're trying to get your money with, all right? The way that we've seen it in the last, say, 15 years. Okay, so this came out before the whole woke mind virus really took over the movies. Okay, now the woke mind virus has been in Hollywood for a number of years, even well before we saw its disgusting, stinky, residue all over our movies right there. But it's been the last 15 years where it's seeped and creeped and diseased our movies here. So, but the Salton Sea, this movie is just in the entertaining the hell out of you business. So it has no time for woke, so it is not a woke after school special whatsoever right there. And Adam's like, literally watched the movie a few days ago. Really? Okay. Well, what compelled you to watch the movie? Was it Val Kilmer passing away? Is that what compelled you right there? Because it's kind of an oddball movie in the Val Kilmer filmography right there. But I'm glad you watched it. And how'd you like it? I guess that's the obvious question: is how did you like the movie there? And that question goes for anybody that's seen the Salton Sea. I'm curious. I'd love to hear what you guys think of this movie, and don't be afraid to say, hey, if you thought it was weird, or you hated it, or like I don't get what the big idea is. I don't get what the big deal is that you're making of this movie there, Van. All right, what are you smoking? Are you doing gack? And there we go. I got my answer right there. It's no Snow White remake disaster. Well, it's not exactly high praise, but it's saying it's not Snow White. It's not the disaster that the Snow White remake was. So there you go. Okay. So you're not going to be starting up the Salton Sea fan club anytime soon. There we go. There you go. Yep. Okay. Val tribute. There. That's what I suspected right there. And hopefully, if there's one good thing that comes from Val Kilmer, moving on there, is hopefully that a lot of folks will start watching some of his lesser known movies. Believe it or not, Top Secret, like, Adam, Aaron, you and I, other people here, we may know Top Secret very well. There's a whole demographic of people. They have never heard of the movie Top Secret with Val Kilmer. And now I think that they're being turned on to it, to movies like that. So are Real Genius and that kind of thing. And, there you go. Yeah, I like, there you go. All right. Yes. I like the way you guys, you roll there, Aaron. You guys own that on DVD there. So absolutely. It's part of my collection as well. And I haven't bothered to see if it's on 4K or not. The DVD, if you got it on DVD or Blu-ray, if you've got good, like a PlayStation 5 or 4 or something like that, something like that's like a good up converting component to it. It still looks really, really good on DVD and Blu-ray there. And one of your favorites from Val right there. Yes, exactly. We park our car in the same garage on that one, my good man. And real quick here, just to let you guys know, this is the part of the show where I kind of beg for money. Not really, because if you want to give, you can give. If you don't, no big deal. I just appreciate everyone joining, and particularly joining and live chatting, because live chatting, that's when you're going the extra mile. Okay, right there. So you're basically you're putting in that extra effort, and I really appreciate that. But if you guys are appreciating what you guys are seeing and hearing enough to maybe throw a buck or two my way, then here's where I tell you how you can do that if you want. Okay, now I don't expect you to. I mean, I can't always do that when I'm watching the show right there, and I'm not gonna be one of those hosts who are like, you guys aren't very classy if you don't throw me any money. All right, like I'm not gonna be one of those dipshits. I hate it when people do that on their show. It just makes me turn off their show right off the bat. So that I'm not gonna do that. But if you are so inclined, if you're checking me out on Rumble, you can do what they call a Rumble rant. And the way you do that is down by where you type in your live chat message. You just click on the button with a $sign on it, and then it'll just ask you how much you want to donate, and that's it. Very easy. And then if you're checking me out on YouTube, you can do that via what they call a super chat, and that works very similarly to how it works on Rumble. Down by where you type in a live chat message, there is a button with a $bill on it, and when you click on that, it'll just ask you how much you want to throw my way, $1 or $2 or 10 or 100, whatever, there you go. I mean, maybe you guys came into some money or something like that recently, and hey, you're feeling particularly generous, and you do that. And so that's how easy it is. It's so easy right there. But again, only if you feel like it's there you go. But that's enough out of me with begging for money. I'm sure everyone's like, thank God. And again, follow me if you would on my channel, on my Movies America channel on Rumble. Okay, I'm almost to 200 subscribers on Rumble. So close. Okay, and if I get up to 200 subscribers on Rumble, she won't get the hose again. Okay, so the woman I have in my pit down there, no, I'm kidding. You gotta stress that you're kidding nowadays, because people take you literally. Oh my God, this guy doing this movie show, he's got a woman trapped in a pit, and he's making her rub lotion on her skin and spraying her with a hose. Oh my God! Like, you have to be literally. I am kidding. This is a joke. There, so that's my disclaimer right there. So my final thoughts on the Salton Sea, if you haven't figured it out by now, watch this movie. Okay, if you haven't seen it, watch this movie. I mean, hell, Adam and Aaron endorse it, and that should be enough to get everyone to know to watch the Salton Sea right there, and you will not regret it. I feel very confident that in the first 5 minutes of this movie, you will be into it, because it has a very subversive, entertaining quality to it. Right into it. Again, it goes into that whole 3-minute or so tutorial about the history of meth, and it came from Japan and was introduced in the 50s and all that stuff. It's a really cool tutorial. And again, like I said before, I wonder if Vince Gilligan watched it, and that's where he came up with the idea for Breaking Bad or something like that. So I love it. Oh yeah, there we go. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah, when they go to do the drug deal with Bobby Ocean there, and Mrs. Ocean is in between the mattress and the box spring right there. Yeah, and I like that. Yeah, where when Danny Parker is talking to the cops, and they're like, "Hey, is anybody else in there besides Bobby Ocean?" And he's like, "Yep, there's a Mrs. Ocean." So yeah, she's trapped. I mean, Bobby's got her pinned in between the mattress and the box spring in there, and then that's just one of the very, very distorted, weird parts of this very bizarre scene in the Salton Sea right there. And Naked Gun 2025 on my list. Yeah, I will be reviewing that when it comes out there. Just from the O.J. Simpson joke alone in the trailer for the Naked Gun remake or reboot or whatever we would call that right there. So yeah, I will be doing that. And I don't know, I'm quite shocked. I'm quite shocked to see Liam Neeson doing a movie like that, because when I think of Liam Neeson, I think of he's mostly a serious actor, right? Schindler's List, Taken, movies like that. But he was kind of funny in did that cameo in Ted 2, where he's the guy, and he's in a grocery store, and he's like, I was informed that these Lucky Charms are strictly for children. He's having that whole dialogue with Ted. So he's done comedy before and that kind of thing right there. But yeah, Lindy Rig right there. Yep, yeah. That's what sold him too right there. Exactly. That's a great I was questioning that trailer, like, oh God, another remake of another classic. Like, what the hell? And then I saw that, and that's what I'm hearing from a lot of people about that trailer. That's what's getting a lot of people to kind of change their mind about that Naked Gun reboot. They're watching the trailer like, oh God, no. Wait, was that an O.J. Simpson joke? I'm going to see this movie. I'm going to go see this movie right there. So, But yeah, go see the Salton Sea. Go check it out. It's on. I mean, you can get it on DVD. You can get it on Prime Video. You could buy it. It's video on demand. You can get it there and check it out. I think it's so good. I would bet dollars to donuts, you're going to get a hard copy of it. And that's the way to always go. If you like a movie, if you really like a movie, get a hard copy of it. So don't settle for a digital copy because they can always change the content of the movie. So don't do that right there. Okay. And again, I got to say it again. I know it's getting very boring and I'm saying it ad nauseum, but please, if you would, follow me on Rumble. Okay. Let's see. Let's do a little refresh here. Let's see what I'm up to on Rumble as far as followers right there. Let's see if I got a reason to be happy. All right, let's see here right here. Got still at 195. Still at 195. Okay, so yeah, we can get it so ever so close. So what you can do here, if you would, again, it takes you about 3 seconds. Well, it probably takes you more than 3 seconds, but it costs you absolutely nothing. It costs you absolutely nothing. Is to take the link to this show, like the Rumble link to the show, and just, text it, to some buddies or your family or, instant message it to people or something like that. And just say, hey, this is a harmless little movie review show. Click on this link and then just hit the follow button or the subscribe button on this page right there. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Okay, that's all you got to do. And then maybe you promise them hey, we're going to go out tomorrow night. I'll buy the first round, something like that. So there you go. Okay. And it takes you a minute to do it. So, and I would be most thankful, most grateful. And again, it costs you no money whatsoever. So there we go. All right. And then I'm also, if you want to follow me on X under @MoviesMerica, on all these platforms, I'm under @MoviesMerica on all these platforms. I try to make it easy on everybody. So I'm under @MoviesMerica on Facebook and X and Gab and Rumble and Instagram and all these platforms. And again, if you follow me on any of those platforms, make sure to DM me on X and let me know, hey, Knucklehead, I followed you on this platform and that platform and that platform. And if you do that, I will follow you back on those platforms right there. It's the least I can do. Right there for that. But all right, let's get ready to wrap this show up here. But I just want to really thank everybody for checking out this show here today, and especially on this show that essentially, on its face was pretty much a Val Kilmer, a well-earned Val Kilmer tribute episode right there. And it's kind of bittersweet because, yes, I love doing a Val Kilmer tribute episode here, but then, of course, that also means that Val Kilmer is no longer with us. But I always kind of wondered about that because, he's been dealing with throat cancer for, over 10 years now, and he hasn't been the Val Kilmer that we've known throughout most of his life, for a long time right now. It's kind of I was always kind of wondering, any day now, are we going to see him go? And unfortunately, that did come to fruition right there. But anyway, with that kind of morbid, sad comment right there, let's wrap this bad boy up. But first off, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got the popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'd be doing me a big favor. I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right. Thanks for watching.